And as we know, the purpose of today's meeting is the new upgrade within Alma Analytics. It's the new features that are included in Analytics, which is a result of the fact that our OBIEE, the Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition, has been upgraded. We have 13 new features here that we want to show. We have 1 hour, so I've chosen what I think are the most important ones, and we'll go through those. Probably not being able to get to all 13. I've already discussed with some others here as well for both development and support as to what we think would be most important. And for example, the breadcrumbs navigation we're going to skip. Performance tiles for sure we're going to show. And this document, this presentation here, which we see in front of us, is also on the Documentation Center, so everybody can view it there as well. Okay. The first major change is that previously we could not use the analytics if we were in any browser except for Firefox. And now we can use it in IE, Chrome, and Firefox. And for example, here I am in Chrome. And previously, if I had been in Chrome and tried to access the analytics, I would get the error message which we see here at the screen on the screen, cannot read properly item S info S of null. This would happen both in Chrome and in IE. And now, here I am in Chrome, and now if I access the analytics, as I'm doing right now, I access with no problem, and I'm in, and I can work like normal and do everything fully supported, just like all the other browsers. So that's the first thing. Same thing in IE. I can pop into Alma, log in, access the analytics, and everything will be fine. So those of you who prefer IE and or Chrome, no problem, you can use analytics. Okay, that pretty much covers the first one. Pretty simple, straightforward. Any questions or comments there before we go on to number 2? You can chat, raise your hand, or do anything. I'm looking at the chat, I see nothing. I'm looking at the participants, see no hands up. So we can move on. Great. The next one is the ability to export the results of reports to Excel 2007 and to Excel 2003. What we're looking at now on the screen is a pre-current version of Alma Analytics, whereas if we clicked to export the report, we could only go to Excel 2003. Now, I'm going to work in Firefox, if you don't mind, and let's see what we can do now. So first, allow me to log in. One moment, please. Sorry, I'm not already in. And I will go in here. This, by the way, is already live and working on all of the data centers, Asia Pacific, Europe, and North America. I happen to be now on the North American, but they're all already with the latest version. And here I'm going to pop into the Design Analytics, so I'm in Alma Analytics. And I will open a report as soon as I'm in. Okay, I will open a report. I prefer to do it with the catalog here. I know many other people click the Open, And I'll choose any report here. For example, items currently on loan to users. Open that up. That's spinning around up there. One moment, please. There we go. And now I'm in the Results tab. And from here, I'm on the Export This Analysis icon, the second from the left on the top. And I now have Excel, and I can export either to Excel 2003 or to Excel 2007. And if I compare that here with what we used to have, it was only Excel 2003. Now I have another option. And for example, I'm going to click here, Excel 2007. It starts exporting it. I'll choose to open it. And here we go. I'm in. So that's the second new feature that we can now export to both versions of Excel. Any questions or comments there before we go on to the next feature? You can raise your hand or you can start talking if you have any questions or comments. I see no hands up, and I'll go to the chat. I see no comments. Okay, so we will move on then to the next feature. Next feature, the new view options. Okay, here there's a lot of new things, but we're going to focus one at a time here. So let's again, first, just to see what's happening, open a report. So I will go in my analytics here. Let me close this tab. Okay. I will go in the analytics to catalog. And I'll go to my shared folders, Alma, acquisitions, and reports. Okay, and I'm going to open a report here, expenditure per acquisition method. I'll click on there, edit, which will bring me right to the results tab. So here I have a report which is giving me the grand total of my expenditures and the acquisition method. In all cases here, my acquisition method is purchase. I also have data from a previous system before I was fortunate enough to upgrade to Alma. That's from 2005 to 2011, and then I have 2012 to 2015 even, with the purchase method in Alma. So here, if we go to the icon New View, we have new options here. We have 11 options here. And if we look, we have, for example, this recommended visualization 4. That's what we're going to focus on right now. And if I compare that with what we used to have, here's what we used to have. We have title table, pivot table, graph, for example. And here in the real Alma, we have best visualization, recommended visualization 4, then we have title table, pivot table. So we have many new options here. Right now we're going to focus on the recommended visualization 4. Soon we'll look also at new graphs we have, a waterfall. We'll look at this shortly, and we'll look at a few others. So recommended visualization 4 allows me to automatically create another report or a pie chart, a line graphs, etc. And it always takes the type of report I've already made in analytics and makes a suggestion as to what would appear the best. Not every type of report merits or is useful for various types of charts. That's why specifically I chose this one with the acquisition method, it's useful for analyzing trends. I may want to see where we've made increases or decreases. Another useful one here may be fines and fees per library or per types of patron. So here I'll choose recommended visualization 4, and I'll choose the first option here, analyzing trends. I'm going to click there. And then it gives me all different kinds of visualizations. And he's recommending here the line. But there's other types here. But he looks at the data, or she, analytics, it looks at the data and recommends this one. So I'm going to choose this one here. And look at that beautiful line graph we automatically get. It's showing me in the red here the total, and in the blue the purchase methods. And we can see that it goes exactly according to what we have up here on top. The purchases start in 2012 to 2015. They went up from 2013 to 2014, and then they went back down in 2015. We see that here, 20 and 5,000, and then in 2013, 2014, it spikes right up. Same thing here in our total expenditures. We see that in 2009, we have the highest amount. 2010, it went way down. 2011, it started coming up a bit, and that's exactly what we see down here. And this, of course, is much more useful or visually helpful by looking here on the bottom chart. I immediately see what the trends are. So that's the recommended visualization 4 under the new view option. Again, there's many other options there. Let's just choose one more for the fun of it. Let's say we want also analyze trends, but this time we're going to do a stacked area. Let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, here too. Here I've got another nice one. It looks more or less like the line one. It's just filled in. So that's how we can use the new visualizations. Okay, any questions or comments there before we move on? We're going to go back soon to the recommended visualization 4. Any questions or comments? No questions or comments from anybody. Okay. Oh, I see we've got a wide geographic membership here, or audience. We've got, I think, just about every continent here except for Antarctica. Antarctica, we've got to get a library in Antarctica, and then we'll be able to have a session with every continent around. This is a big one. Usually these morning sessions have primarily Australia and then a few others, but I see this one is really full. Okay, no questions or comments. Let me make sure everyone is still with us. Can you raise your hand if you still hear and everything is fine? Okay, so people do hear, the hands are going up, and there's simply no questions. All right, so the next option, which is new, is the ability to export an entire dashboard. Previously, you couldn't export the entire dashboard. If you wanted to, you would need to go to each part of a dashboard and export each part, and then on your own, you could take your Excel or whatever you exported it to and start playing around there. Let's see what's going to happen now. I'm going to close my analytics, just for the purpose of what we're about to do. Leave the page. And I'm going to open any of my dashboards. I'm going to click here, Analytics on the top. And I'll choose, for example, the first one here, Fulfillment, which is going to open my predefined fulfillment dashboard. She signs in and opens it up. There we are. That's a nice looking dashboard, by the way. And here, if we take a look at the page options, I'm on the top right here, page options, we can see that we have print, export to Excel, and refresh. and then a few other options. Whereas if we see what we used to have, I'm going to go to my PowerPoint, this is what we used to have. We don't have here a export entire dashboard. We have edit and a few other things. Back here, so we're going to export to Excel. And we can export the entire dashboard. Let's see what happens when we're going to do that. We'll open it with Excel, and we'll see that we're going to have a separate sheet for each of the tabs in the dashboard. I'm going to go back 1 second here. You can see I've got loan per library, general statistics, items loaned per patron group. I have altogether 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 different tabs in my dashboard. And if I come to my Excel, I'm going to have 8 here also. Here they are. I just moved my bar down on the side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got the same thing here in the Excel, something I couldn't do in the older version of Alma Analytics. And each of these will be exactly like the actual dashboard. Here, for example, I've chosen loans item ratio. And if I go compare it here with loans item ratio, the same exact situation here appears here in my Excel. And then, of course, once I'm in Excel, I can do anything I want with it. I can make it a PDF. I can start doing additional calculations on it, easily and quickly exporting it to Excel. Okay, so that's the export entire dashboard. Are there any questions or comments on that one? You can raise your hand, you can start talking, or you can send a chat. I'll wait 1 second to see. And it looks like there are no questions or comments. So we will move on. The next one, we're going to return now to the view options. So I'm going to close this again. I'm going to go back into Analytics, clicking Design Analytics. And now we're going to see new types of graphs. So first of all, let me open something up. I'll go to Catalog and open a report just so we can see what kind of graphs we can make with this report. And I'll go to, again, where I was before, Reports, under Acquisitions, and I'll choose here, for example, Expenditure per Acquisition Method, same one we had before. And last time, if you recall, we went to New View, and which one did we choose last time? Let's see who's paying attention here. Which one did we show last time? Just a few moments ago, which new option did we show in the New View? You can send it in by chat or just go out and speak. Let's see. Maya, that's right, Maya. We showed last time the recommended visualization 4. So last time we showed this recommended visualization 4. This time we're going to choose graph. And a new graph that we have is the waterfall. And we also have, under the bar, we've got the stacked vertical and the stacked horizontal. These are new. And we're going to take a look at these right now. If we compare this with what we used to have, sorry about that, here we are. Exported the entire, here's our new graphs. We don't have, for example, here, the waterfall on the bottom. Now we have the waterfall, and we have under the bar the 100% stacked vertical, 100% stacked horizontal. Here we are beforehand where we don't have them. So let's take a look at what they do. We'll start by choosing Graph Waterfall. And here we are. This is showing us the totals of each of these, the grand total from here, and the regular total. And if we choose here, we'll choose another graph, another report as well, just to see how they appear in different types of reports. Here's a 100% stacked vertical. And we can automatically choose different years. So here, for example, here's a good one. We see here, it's comparing our purchase to our total for 2014. 2014 had a very small difference. It was 83,379 were type purchase, and the grand total was 88,320, a difference of 4,941, which means 4,941 were not of type purchase. And we can see that right here. We just put our mouse on, and it gives us the information of what's in the graph. That's the vertical. Let's take a look at the graph bar horizontal, stacked horizontal. And let's say here we want a different year. Let's say we want, for example, 2012, which has a bigger difference. Okay, and same thing here. Here's my horizontal. So here we're showing every year. Each year, up until 2011, as we know, that was before my migration, when I still wasn't fortunate enough to be working in Alma. And there I don't have the purchase types. 2012 to 2015, we see here, it's got a nice visually clear comparison between the type purchase and the overall. So I can quickly and easily see that for 2015, all of my expenditures are of type purchase. 2013, 2014, the vast majority are type purchase, and that 2012, a little less than half, 44.74%, are of type purchase of my overall expenditures. Okay, so those are the new types of graphs, which we see here under New View. And graph, we chose waterfall, and we chose the stacked vertical and the stacked horizontal. Okay, are there any questions or comments there? You can raise your hand, send in a question, or just start talking. Nothing. Okay, so we will move on. And the next one. Table fixed headers with scrolling content. Okay, this is a very nice one. This is one of those ones that we say, why didn't they have this before? It seems so basic, but it wasn't there. So let's go take a look at another table, and let's open one up. Back to my analytics. Maybe I'll open it up the way most people do. Most people click this open. Let's do a little survey here. When you want to open an existing report you already made, and it's not already in a dashboard or something, how many people use catalog? Later I'll ask how many use open. How many prefer to click catalog and then move along? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 say they use catalog. Okay. Oh, 6. More people did it. Now, how many of you clicked open? How many click open here? Only 2. Okay, so it looks like most people are clicking catalog. Okay, that's what I usually do too. But from my experience working with other people, I see them clicking open. Okay, so let's open one up here, or let's catalog one here. Maybe we use catalog because we're librarians and we're used to the word catalog. Maybe if it said there resource management, we'd click that also. All right, so let's open one up here. I'm going to go to Shared Folders Sandbox Training Reports. Shared Folders Sandbox Training Reports. And I'll take, for example, AA items loaned twice or less, and edit. And now, you see I have these here, a scroll bar on the right, a scroll bar on the bottom, and when I move this scroll bar, you'll see that my title, time, loan, number of items, barcode, title, publication date, publication, etc., remains, and I'm scrolling down. So I'm scrolling, this is remaining here. As I scroll, it tells me what row I'm at. And same thing here on the bottom. I can scroll this way, I can scroll this way. It seems so elementary, I know, but if you look here at what we used to have, there was no way I could scroll. I'd have to scroll on the whole screen, not within the table, and then I would lose the header. Here I scrolled down in the old version, and then I lose my header. So now I can scroll both ways, and I see the title. Okay? Much more user-friendly, much nicer. Any way to make it wider, i.e. no scroll item bar? Okay, so we have a question here. Is there a way to make it wider? Yes, there is. You can play around. I once did it. I don't want to waste the whole time now. I will send out afterwards how to do it. Let me make a personal note here. How to make table wider to prevent the need to have a scroll bar on the bottom. I believe it's called table padding or something. There is a way to do that. Here I am on my table, and I don't want content. Column and measure, hold on, column labels on, off, roll over. Oh, maybe it's this one here. Hold on one moment. Maximum width, maximum height. It's around here somewhere. If I don't find it immediately, I will, let's just make a big change there to see what's going to happen. I'll check it and send out in a moment. Let's see what's that going to do. Oh, nice, huh? So let me go done. Beautiful. Did you see that? Oh, it made it bigger, but I still need to do this. Okay, it depends, of course, on my report. Let's see if I make it real big. Oh, we didn't go there. Where did we do that? See how difficult this gets to be sometimes? Here we are. Try this one more time. That's for sure the place. We put in 1,000 and it got bigger. Question is, how much do we want to make it bigger? One more time. Just for the fun, I'll throw in 2 more zeros just to see what's going to happen here. Ha! What did it say? My maximum is 1,800. I would probably need to make my font smaller too. Ah, so now it's making the whole thing bigger. I would actually want to make it smaller, I think. In any case, we can see the different ways to play around here. Let's see what's going to happen now. Then I could make my font smaller too. Whoa, now I really have to do it. In any case, that's the area where we're going to have to play around. Let me now get rid of that, and I'll get rid of these. And oh, I should be able to choose that. This is fixed headers with scrolling content, content paging. There we go, content paging. There we are. Okay, so it's content paging. Like everything in analytics and Alma and maybe even software in general, you just got to start playing around. But that's it, content paging, and now I don't have a scroll bar on the bottom. Okay, let me fix that quick, because if it defaults and I show this afternoon, I won't know what's going on. Okay, next. Let me done that. All right, so that's the ability to scroll on the side and on the bottom, and it keeps the header here, whereas previously we could only scroll here, and then we're missing parts of it. Okay, next, search and look up when making a filter. All right, this is a real nice one. So first of all, let's do a filter. So let's just stay right here in this report, actually. Here's my criteria tab. And you can see that if I do, I'll choose any of these. Let's take, for example, publication date. If I take publication date and do filter, now I have this binoculars here to the right of the value field, which I didn't have before. There was a roundabout way I could get to something like this, but it wasn't actually there. Let's take a look here to compare. This is what we used to have. I need to click on the bottom here where it says search, and to the right of the value field, I don't have the binoculars. Now I've got these binoculars automatically right here. And they do a few things. So first I'm going to click the binoculars. And now I can easily choose specific values. Let's say, for example, I want Toronto. Anything starting with T-O-R. And I get nothing because I said match case. So I'll say Toronto search. Let's say not case sensitive. Oh, I'm in publication date. Sorry about that. I want publication place. Of course in the date I'm not going to find Toronto. So I'm going to click here, starts with T-O-R, enter. Okay, Toronto. Now watch what also is going to happen. Something very nice here. Let's even say T-O-R-O, so I won't get Torino in here. Oh, we'll leave Torino, we just won't choose it. Now, this is giving me everything starting with T-O-R. If I click, I'm now defaulted to this all values. I've got my mouse here slightly left of the binoculars on all values. If I click now on limited values, I get search. I get, again, everything. I get Torreon, Torrance, Toronto, and at the beginning, Torino. Now watch what's going to happen. I'm going to go back to all values, and I'm going to choose only the Torontos. Only the Torontos, I'm going to say move, and now I've selected only those with publication place Toronto. Okay. Okay. I'm going to save it, because we're going to do something else in a moment. We'll make sure in my results that it's really giving me only Toronto. One moment, please. And it's giving me only the Torontos. Now we're going to do the same thing. We'll choose publication place, filter. I'm going to click this again. If you recall last time, I did T-O-R, enter. I'm getting this, Torino, and Torrance, Torreon. But now I'm going to choose limited values. Last time when we did limited values, we get the same as we got for all values. Limited values is giving me only Toronto. Limited values is giving me everything from this list and what I've already done a filter on. So if I were to say here, for example, Toronto, comma, now it's giving me only those Toronto which have a comma. Because it's giving me a subset here when I have limited values, a subset of only that which I've already done here the filter on. Okay, that's a big time saver, of course, and a nice way of making a new filter. Any questions or comments there? You can raise your hand, you can talk, or you can send in a chat. Okay, nothing. So let's move on to the next one. The performance tile. The performance tile, this is a good one, and I'm going to use a real live example. A real live example of a question we got yesterday. This was like hot off the press. Yesterday, it was from a Europe library. So, and that Europe library is not here now, but they'll be here this afternoon. A performance tile gives a summary of a grand total on parts of a report, specifically on the measurements. Let's take an example. Let's do an example. So this particular library wanted to know how many portfolios do they have which are from the community zone. In other words, not local portfolios. Let's do it, and let's use the performance tile to see how it's done. So let's make a brand new analysis together. New analysis. You know what I want to do here, if you don't mind? Allow me to delete this and resave it, so when I play this afternoon, I'll have a fresh version here. Okay. I wonder if anyone's ever come to both sessions. That would be interesting. Anyone out there ever come to a morning and an afternoon session? Just to see if it's the same thing? No hands going up. I guess one session's enough for everybody. Okay, so we're going to make a new analysis. Oh, we did get a smile, though. Maybe we're putting some ideas into people's heads now. So we'll make a new analysis, and I'm going to choose e-inventory. A fairly new subject area, if I'm not mistaken, also. Now, anything which is a portfolio from the community zone, by the way, is going to have a portfolio link ID. I'm going to go step by step here. I see it's 8:38. We've got time. We don't need to rush. Portfolio link ID. I'm going to take the portfolio link ID, and I'm going to take, this is all, just stepping aside a minute, a small introduction to show the new performance tile, which is part of the new upgraded analytics. I'm going to take the portfolio link ID, and where's my bibliographic details? Right here, and I'm just going to throw in the title, and I'll throw in the author. Okay. So, if I were to say here, portfolio link ID filter is null, okay, and I go to my results, this should give me only local portfolios. Let's take, for example, 100 most popular contemporary mystery authors by Drew Bernard Alger. So if I go portfolios, Alger, mystery. Okay, those are two words I remember on there. Oh, that's not the one. Hold on. Oracle BI. Let's take something a little more easily to write. Teen, the first one, teen. Teen with an apostrophe. Electronic portfolios. Teen. Teen is from the community. One moment, please. Every time we've got this, remember, it's always a human error, not an Alma error. Let's go back here. I'm going to do the same thing. Hold on. And I'm going to say portfolio link, change this, is not null. Okay. Results. The Argentine Business Forecast Report. Argentine Business Forecast. Argentine Business. Did I spell something wrong here? Sorry about that. The Argentine. Argentina. That'll do it. Human error. Okay, and that's from the community zone. Okay, I got to see why the no ones gave me something from the community zone. They'll probably pop into my head while we're moving along here. Let's just see one more time. E-inventory, portfolio we said, portfolio link ID. Those are my portfolio link IDs. Let me go to portfolio here again, to chemical. And let me do this on one other place. Sorry, everybody. I want to do this in another environment where I've got more realistic things. One moment, please. And pop in here and pop in here. Okay. Close this. Okay, I'm going to go to Design Analytics. And I'm going to say New Analysis. And I'm going to say E-inventory. And again, my portfolio. Portfolio link ID. And a title. And an author, and I'm going to say filter. This is still the old analytics here, but I want to check the portfolio link ID. I'm going to say is no. Okay, boom. And I will take $30 Music School. That looks like an easy one to look up. Portfolio, $30 Music School. Great, perfect. Okay, so $30 Music School is a local one. On the other hand, if I come and I say criteria, portfolio link ID, is not no, in other words, it exists, results, these will all be portfolios from the community zone because they have a link ID. $30 Film School we saw had both, right? It has both. So it appears in both of them. $30 Writing School, the $800 million pill, 800 million pill. 800 million pill. 800 million pill. And this should be from the community zone, and it is. Okay, so that's how we can see which portfolios are from the community zone and which are not from the community zone. Those which are from the community zone will have a portfolio link ID, because that's what's linking them to the community zone. Okay, now we're going to use the performance tile to see how many of them do I have. Now it is possible, here I'm in the old still, we haven't upgraded this specific environment, which is not a real live customer environment. And here, if I wanted to do a count, I could do a count. It's a bit, I wouldn't say complicated, but I have to do more work than I really need to. I could take, for example, this one here. I could get rid of these. There's a couple of ways to do it. And here I could say, edit the formula, and what I really want is a count of that. And then I could get a count. Okay, and I see that there's 60,371. So it is possible to see how many I have. There's a couple of other ways to play around. And if I really wanted to be fancy, which of course I would want to do, Then I could come here and say also column properties. I could go to my column format, give it custom headings, and say total number of portfolios linked to CZ. Okay, and then I'd have something real nice. Now we're going to see in the new analytics how much easier it is. Here we go. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm not even going to save that one. And I'm going to go back to my other environment. And thank you for your patience while I went through different environments here just to compare. All right. Now we're going to see the performance tile, doing that same count with the performance tile. So I'll come along here and I'll go into Analytics. And I'll say New Analysis, just like I did a moment ago. And I'll choose the e-inventory, like I did a moment ago. And I'll take, for example, the portfolio, and I'll take the link ID. While I'm here, I'll take a measurement, because the performance tile works only on the measurements. The measurements are the ones with the yellow thing here. For example, in fulfillment, you've got number of loans, etc. And let's display it. Results. And now we're going to take a look at the performance tile. Let's see, I want to know how many of them are there altogether. So I'll go here to the new view, and we have performance tile right here. Brand new, didn't exist in the previous version. And it tells me the number of portfolios is 43K. I probably want something more specific. I can do that also. This I can then put into my report. I can put it on my dashboard, whatever I want. I'm going to click here to edit the view. 43K, it defaults to what they call the compressed version of it, but I want to look at the actual real amount. So I'll go here to Performance Tile Properties. And instead of compressed values, where 1,000 equals 1K, I'll say I want the real number. So now it's giving me the real number. If I had more measurements in my report, I could choose which measurement I want. And I could change this to be whatever I want. Let's change it to number of portfolios linked to the community zone. And let's say I want a large one. And let's say I want this one here in the gray. Nice. Done. So now I've got this. That's the performance tile. It automatically does a summary or count of the measurements. Okay, let's see, are there any questions or comments on the performance tile? No questions or comments on the performance tile. In that case, I'm going to go right up to another one. I'm going to skip ahead now to the last one because it's related to the performance tile. I'm going to do a remove there. We also have something new here. If I right-click here, I also have show row level grand total, and I'll say after values. So now, if I go to the end here, get more rows. I chose a big one. I should have chosen a small one before doing something like this. I probably need to do this 4 times, so it'll show me 1,000 each time. Okay, so it gives me also the total at the bottom. 43,278, that's the same number we got when we did the performance tile. I did here, right-click, show row-level grand total, and it automatically does the count for me. Automatically does the count. Let's look at another example of the show row-level grand total. Actually, we've only got 8 minutes. Let's show it. So let's say, for example, I have a new analysis. New analysis, and I'll take fulfillment. Fulfillment always has a lot of measurements. And I'll go to loans, and I'll take number of loans, and I'll go to loan date, and I'll take the date key, and I'll go to loan details, and I'll take the item ID. Okay, then I'll filter here on the date key, filter, and I'll say I want it between, for example, let's say January 1st, 2007 to 12/31/2007, and that should do it. I'll go to the results. Okay, same thing here. I can right-click, show grand level after values. It automatically gives me the grand total. Something new, something which didn't exist before. If we go, for example, it's number 13 here, we'll see that previously we didn't have it. This is the new OBIEE. It has the show row level. Previously, we didn't have it. Okay, so that's that one. While we're looking here, if you notice, let's get rid of that grand total for a moment. None. While we're here, let's go back. There's a new feature called the null row column suppression. Right now, by default, I'm only getting values which have something. If we look here in the criteria, I don't have any filter on number of loans. I'm not saying give me only number of loans equals 2 or greater than whatever or not 0. But when I go to my results, I'm not seeing anything with 0 because there's something called null rows column suppression. And if I go now to the results, I'm in the results tab, and I do edit analysis properties, we've got here edit analysis properties, and we go to the data tab, we have a new option here, include null values. So if I click include null values, watch what's going to happen. Now my report also includes rows which are 0. There may be cases where I want not only to show the results where there is something there, but also to show where there's no results, and that's what's happening now. I'm going to have to go all the way down to one of those few cases where there are results from 2007 to show them, but now I'm showing all of the results, those with a value and those with a null value. Let's put that back now to the data, uncheck include null values. Now it's only giving me values where there is something. Okay, like 612. To make it even more specific, if I were to say I see that in 612 and 619, there are results. So that's June 12th and June 19th. So if I really want to show this, I could say, give me date key between, what was it, June 12th and June 19th. I'll say go from June 11th to June 20th. Then I'll show the results. Now I'll say edit analysis, include null values. And now we'll have some, again, with and some without. Now I got to go all the way down to June 12, June 19, etc. Okay, so that's the include null values. Any questions or comments there? No questions or comments. Let me do June 12 to June 19. What should I do here? I'm going to say June 11 to June 13. Or better yet, I'll say June 11, June 13, June 14. Results. Okay. Any questions or comments? Nothing. Next. Add new field in the criteria tab. What used to happen here in the criteria tab is if we would add something here, like I want now to show the barcode. Previously, then, when I went to results, it would automatically be hidden, and then I would need to edit it and put it back in. I would need to go here, and then go to the hidden section. Hold on while it's processing my request. If I added something from the criteria tab, it would be here in the excluded, and then I would need to move it back up. But now it's automatically there. Okay, we're almost out of time. Let me show one more thing. Right now we have a hidden field. We know, let's put this back to include null values, no. Okay, right now we know that there's a hidden field here. I have the barcode too, and it's hidden. If I want to include that, let's hide the date key too, just for our purposes. Processing request, please wait. Okay. I'm going to hide the date key. So they're both excluded. Done. Now, previously, in the old Alma Analytics, if I want to make appear a field which has been excluded, I need to click the pencil to edit, go to the excluded fields, and drag them to the fields that appear. I would need to take this and then bring it up here. Now I've got a much easier way to do that, which didn't exist before, and that is I can take any of the fields here, right-click it, and say include column. It's giving me now the date key and the barcode key because it's now giving me only the columns which have been excluded, and then I can bring them back in. And now it appears. And then if I want to exclude a column, I can right-click and exclude it right from here. Those two functions, the include and exclude, I used to be able to do only by clicking the pencil and then dragging in the edit mode from one section to the other section. Now I have the simple right-click, include, exclude. I don't need to come and start dragging around here. A lot easier. Okay, that brings us to 9 a.m., which means it's exactly 1 hour. So we're unfortunately out of time. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing everybody in our future sessions. As you know, we have an upcoming Ask the Expert about physical item requests. We're going to also have an upcoming Ask the Expert, I believe, sometime in June, although it's already May 27th. Maybe it's June 11th. I'm not quite sure. But it's all being sent out to the relevant lists. We're going to be having one about the fiscal period closures. June's a popular time for fiscal period closures, so it's an appropriate time for us to be doing it. And we thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks a lot.